Elsie flew to the TV station where Kanan was broadcasting to find out more information, but she was kicked out. However, Elsie learned a lot more about Kanan from her fan group. It turns out Kanan used to be a member of a group, but they disbanded because Kanan's talent overshadowed the other two. So Elsie guessed that Kanan was feeling very lonely right now. After hearing this, Keima decided to actively flirt with the idol girl in the afternoon, but in the end Kanan didn't come because she was busy with work. Keima texted Kanan and was invited by her to the set where she was filming, where Keima noticed that Kanan was having a mental breakdown. It seems that she is haunted by her unremarkable and self-deprecating past, so Keima compliments her with sweet words that make Kanan happy again. A few days later, Kanan had a big stage performance that she had always dreamed of, and Keima went to see Kanan before preparing to give her encouragement. Everything was fine until the manager found out that Kanan was gone, making everyone worried. It turns out that a few minutes before going on stage, Kanan's phobia recurs. She has a hallucination of her past self talking to her from the mirror. That image constantly instilled in Kanan's mind about her worthlessness, causing Kanan to gradually fade away and become invisible. While the invisible Kanan was wandering around, the behind-the-scenes staff frantically searched for her. They even thought they would have to stop the show and call the police, but the manager was adamant that they wouldn't give up until the last minute. Keima and Elsie are also in a hurry to find Kanan. Keima is sure that if he is the first to find Kanan, this mission will definitely succeed. After a while of searching in vain, Elsie suddenly came up with the idea that she could use a hairpin to signal evil spirits to find the location of the idol. According to the evil spirit detector's signal, Kanan is very close to Keima and Elsie. Just as he was confused, Keima saw Kanan's faint figure under the lamppost, so he ran in front of her. Her spirit immediately stabilized when she saw Keima and she asked Keima to help her more in the future. This time Keima didn't give her usual dirty words of encouragement, but frankly forced her to bravely overcome her fear and look at the fact that she is not only alone but also has many fans. Grave outside. Kanan gave Keima a goodbye kiss and she confidently completed the performance to perfection. On Keima's side, he also successfully passed the mission this time. This morning, Elsie prepared lunch for Keima, but the food she made was disgusting. Keima was scared to pee in his pants, so he scolded Elsie for being a faulty demon. In class, Elsie cried all over the table and tried to explain to the girl sitting next to her that she was not useless. She saw that and suggested that Elsie should make a cake for Keima. So she immediately rushed to the cooking room and left a replacement doll in the classroom, although it was very obvious, but no one realized that the Elsie dummy was a fake, except Keima. In the kitchen, Elsie is researching cake recipes and constantly pulling out weird ingredients from her world. While Elsie was selecting eggs, one of them suddenly hatched a green dragon and ran away with the small one. She had to hide in a bush to hide, and when she got out she found Keima again. She gave a dark smile and then told Keima to wait to see her strength. After dancing and dancing in the kitchen, Elsie finally finished a pretty good cake. But just as she was about to finish the cake, the green dragon returned. Other than that, the other eggs also hatched weird monsters. Elsie was so scared that it blew up the room and the cake was gone. At dinner, Keima asked Elsie why she wasn't in class all day, and Elsie just laughed. Elsie was still determined to make the cake again when suddenly Keima said that he doesn't like sweets, making her face distorted, and threw the magazine in the trash. Actually, before that Keima discovered the cake dropped in the bushes in front of the house, so he knew that Elsie spent all day making this cake. Turns out the blue dragon bread was stolen and dropped in front of the door while following the scent of Elsie finding Keima's house. Hearing the sound of the dragon perched on the roof, Keima's mother thought there was a thief in the house. When she came out and saw someone in the kitchen, she smashed a flower vase on his head. Looking back, it turned out to be a young Keima eating Elsie's cake. As for the green dragon, as soon as it landed on the roof, it was caught by the Elsie's weird bento box and bitten for life. Elsie was constantly scolded by Keima for being ignorant, so she decided to go to the library to read books, and here Elsie discovered something very interesting: a fire truck. To find more books on the subject of fire trucks, Elsie went to the librarian to ask about it. The librarian in the school library is a pretty but extremely timid bookworm named Shiori. Elsie had to call her to notice her. Unexpectedly, just as Elsie was trying to talk to the librarian girl, her hairpin squealed loudly, warning that there was an evil spirit nearby. The next day, Elsie dragged Keima into the library with her to find Shiori and deal with the evil spirit residing inside the librarian. As they were discussing, they saw the librarian pulling a cart full of books on firefighting topics close to them, much to Elsie's delight. Keima and Elsie didn't know that Shiori was very confused right now for fear that they would think she was weird having taken out so many books. The next day, Shiori was given the task of sorting old books into a box to take away. When she learned that she was about to part with these books, the librarian felt very sad. Keima and Elsie continue to find Shiori and find her trying to reach for a book from above. She almost fell down when she got the book, but fortunately Keima caught the book in time and caught her. That made Shiori blush and confused to think of a way to thank Keima. But when she managed to say thank you, she lost her tongue and became a lisp. Keima tells the librarian that the books are now obsolete and a waste of time, since everything is now stored on the computer. That statement made a book lover like Shiori extremely angry, but because she was too timid, she could only scold Keima for being an idiot. After scolding, the two shyly turned and left. Elsie is worried because Keima has angered Shiori, putting the mission this time in danger of failure. But Keima told her that Keima could read her mind when she was angry, so he deliberately tried to provoke her. At this point, the librarian Shiori is regretting scolding Keima because she should have thanked him, but because Keima looked down on books, she felt it was worth it to be scolded. Shiori suddenly recalls her past living timidly with people before, and it was the books that saved her soul and gave her a sense of freedom. Because of that, she feels she doesn't need to talk to anyone anymore and just needs to be friends with books. The next day, the members of the library management met together and was informed that from now on the library will have a computer room. Everyone happily responded to this except for Shiori. However, she remained silent and did not speak her mind. While walking past Keima, the librarian realized that he was scribbling in a book, and Shiori angrily snatched the book but only scolded him in her head, not saying it out loud. Keima explained that his action was because the author had incorrectly recorded the game's release time. In the days that followed, Keima kept going to the library to get Shiori's attention, which annoyed her and hurled a flurry of disgruntled words at him, until Keima said that he liked the library because it was so quiet. The librarian girl calmed down and sat down to talk to him. The next day, Keima and Elsie continued to go to the library and saw Shiori tearing up the old school's list of old books and leaving, and Keima immediately came up with a way to end this quest. The next morning, Shiori got up early to go to the library and closed the door to prevent everyone from entering. She only left a note at the door announcing that she was against the establishment of a computer room here. Somehow the librarian wouldn't open the door, so Keima asked Elsie to help him get inside the library by drilling a hole in the ceiling. Right now Shiori was dozing off in the library because she got up so early this morning, and everyone outside was in a frenzy. It wasn't until evening that she woke up to find out when Keima had entered. However, she did not feel uncomfortable with his presence at this time. While the two were hiding, the library suddenly lost power, making them both startle and fall into the stacks of books around. Turns out the library lost power because a member of the management board cut off the power to reset the door password. Inside, Keima and the librarian were pressed under a pile of books, and Keima took this opportunity to lead Shiori to face her fear of communication. He pointed out that the girl actually wanted to talk to everyone, but she was afraid that her words would offend others, so she became more and more withdrawn from the people around her. Keima reached out and pulled Shiori out of that dark world and placed a sweet kiss on her lips. The mission ended well, so Keima immediately left and the librarian girl didn't remember him at all. The management had now opened the door to enter the library. All of them were surprised when the shy Shiori took the initiative to talk to everyone about the fact that she wanted to keep the books. One fine day, Keima is feeling crazy because since the appearance of his little girl Elsie, his gaming productivity has plummeted, so his game inventory is severely backlogged. Because she was too curious and worried, Elsie went to Keima's room to check it out, and she gasped in surprise when Keima's room was now nothing more than a server station with tons of monitors and controls. Keima's hand glides across the keyboard so fast that it creates an illusion that Elsie thinks he's a god. Playing game after game, even blowing up the computer like Keima still wouldn't stop, culminating in him playing 12 games at once until he was exhausted. Elsie went in and out of Keima's room a few times because he was worried about his health, but Keima didn't seem to care about her, but only played games, making Elsie very sad. Elsie is worried because Keima's life is not like normal people but revolves around games. She thinks that such a life is murky and meaningless, but Keima counters that he is very happy and doesn't need Elsie to worry about money. In the end, Keima had almost finished the month's backlog of games in just a few hours, with only one last game left, but by now Ta was too exhausted. In the moment he was about to faint, Keima had an illusion that the game character was cheering for him. So Keima pulled out the last bit of strength to play the last game and finished it perfectly. This is the end of the movie, thank you very much. Please subscribe and press the notification button to wait for new videos. Goodbye and see you all again.